Whatever you would have me do, I'll do the best that I can do, and offer all I do to you, with all my heart, with all my heart. You give me songs my heart can sing, with light and grace each day you bring, and walk with me through everything this life does impart, this life does impart. I'm really just a flute you play, you give me all the words to say, and guide me through each night and day of time's endless rounds, of time's endless rounds. Oh, you have stolen my heart and filled up each and every part. With your love, with your name you do impart your songs endless sounds, your songs endless sounds. Whatever you would have me do, I'll do the best that I can do, and offer all I do to you, with all my heart, with all my heart, with all my heart.
Om Namaste Yatirajayo Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Sarupayo Swami Tapaharine. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Our salutation to Swami Vivekananda, who is the king among the renunciates and the divine personality as God and the redeemer of the people of the universe and supporter of everyone. My love goes to him, my salutation goes to him. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So today our topic is Vivekananda and his Karma Yoga ideal. This month especially is dedicated to Swami Vivekananda, being his birthday, birth date fall in this month. One point. Second point is that karma is our very foundation of our life. How many people can spend time for meditation and inquiry into the infinite reality day and night? But we are more engrossed into our day-to-day responsibilities and performing our duties. That is our calling. And how we can make that as spiritual, and how we can get released from all bondage. That is Swami Vivekananda have given that. He is actually a new ideology has been given by Swami Vivekananda, who said that so long people used to know that God realization can be had by meditation and prayer and philosophical inquiry. But I have created a new path for getting freedom from all bondage by performing action in the right manner. So this is a very important topic. We can really focus on it. But first of all, we have to know who is Vivekananda. And what is the karma ideal he presents before us. So, if we look at Sri Ramakrishna tried to understand Vivekananda. His whole spiritual sadhana practice was focused on God realization. Ramakrishna is nothing but God in him. But he was waiting, after realizing God in so many varieties of paths and bringing that understanding to the world that they are all one, different paths leading to the same goal, he was crying and weeping for someone who will be his messenger, who will carry this message to the whole world for the redemption of the world. So Ramakrishna's struggle started there for God realization, himself setting an example before us. And then secondarily, he wanted someone to find a person who can just spread that message, give that message in its pristine purity. So therefore we find that Ramakrishna's vision was this: when he first saw Naren, he was very overwhelmed seeing a young boy of such spiritual nature. And second time when he came to Dakshineshwar, we find that Sri Ramakrishna, seeing him, was so much delighted, and he took him to the next room, and with folded palm he started praising like that. Lord, I know you. You are Nara, the ancient sage. You are the incarnation of Narayana, the Lord. You have come to earth, to the earth, to take away the sorrows and sufferings of mankind, etc. And Naren was really overwhelmed with this craziness. He said that I am a young man of Calcutta and known by my that I am very not so easily accepting philosophies and ideas like that, and he is telling me I am Narayana, Nara, all these things. So that was his high esteem about Naren. He used to say about Naren, when he's seeing his potential spiritual strength inside and the power which is lurking behind him, he was really overwhelmed, and he used to talk so highly about him. He says Narendra belongs to a very high place, the realm of the Absolute. The Absolute is oneness with the Divine. That is the realm which is the goal of our life. But Naren lives in that realm, though he appears to be here. Every now and then I take stock of the devotees. It is all Sri Ramakrishna's statements. And I find some are like lotuses with 10 petals, some like lotuses with 100 petals, but among lotuses, Narendra is the 1,000-petal lotus. So he is talking about the greatness of Naren. He is not an ordinary person, and him is the manifestation in the fullest strength and purity. He says that other devotees may be like pots or pitchers, small. But Narendra is like a huge water barrel. Always talking about Narendra means superlative, highest way of expression of about the potentiality of him. Others may be like a pool or tanks, but Narendra is a huge reservoir like that of the Haldarpukur. That means there is a village in Ramakrishna's birthplace. There is a big reservoir, and he compared Narendra with others. Others are good, but this manifestation of this length and stretch is difficult to understand. He used to say, among fish, Narendra is a huge red-eyed carp. Others are like minnows and smelts or sardines. So they are all small, tiny manifestation. But Narendra is such a huge expression, like the giving the example of like huge red-eyed carp. Narendra is a very big receptacle, one that can hold many things. I feel great strength when Naren is with me in a gathering. We find that this is a extraordinary expression. If we look at through the eyes of the direct disciples of Ramakrishna, we find that Swami Turiyananda talking about Ramakrishna in the highest extreme. We didn't understand. He does not belong to us. He was like, as we are mistaken, like in the night, cool night, when the full moon night, the reflection of the moon falls into the water, and the reflected moon appears to the fish. All the fishes, they think that there is a bright fish has come to play with them. And they play whole night. And to understand in the morning that there is no fish. Somebody came from some divine realm, have come and give them joy by their presence. So this is the type of expression what all the direct disciples, we go to them, they express Vivekananda's glory. We know this very commonly referred. Roman Roland, he said, his words are great music, phrases in the style of Beethoven, stirring rhythms like the march of Handel choruses. I cannot touch these sayings of his, scattered as they are to the pages of books, at 30 years distance, without receiving a thrill through my body like an electric shock. And what shocks, what transports must have been produced when in burning words they issued from the lips of the hero. Hero is here Vivekananda. So, Swami Vivekananda is not speaking, he is not a man. When he speaks, he's speaking, that energy is transmitted through his words. He used to say, I don't lecture only, but I give energy back. To such a manifestation is really rare to find. Josephine MacLeod, when she is talking about Swami Vivekananda, she said, the things that held me in Swami Vivekananda, Swamiji, was his unlimitedness. I never could touch the bottom or top or sides. It is the truth I saw in Swamiji that has set me free. Swami Vivekananda stands for freedom. And whoever come in touch with him, they felt the freedom. And the freedom from all bondage is their achievement, goal. Swami Vivekananda gave some new message to the world. And in the language of Nivedita, this is a uniqueness of Swami Vivekananda. Behind all the activities what he did himself, in preaching Vedanta, in establishing this Ramakrishna order, in encouraging people to do good to others. Background, this is the philosophy. And in the wonderful language of Sister Nivedita, she says, if the many and the one indeed be the same reality, then it is not all modes of worship alone, but equally all modes of work, all modes of struggle, all modes of creation, which are paths of realization. This is a great statement. Vedanta philosophy, Swami Vivekananda talked about karma. It is nothing but practical Vedanta. how to make it useful in our day-to-day life, to make it a reality. The Brahman, Atman, beyond, transcendental, and this world is something different. It is not. He is leading the human mind to the divine plane. And Nivedita caught that point, that if many and one are indeed be the same reality, many and one, only difference of manifestation, if that is the same reality, then it is not then all modes of worship only, alone. That means waving incense, offering flowers, chanting in temples and churches, in mosques, praying. Is that the only religion? That is the only spirituality? No. But equally all modes of work. All modes of work. It's a big, simple word, but it's profound meaning. All modes of work means from morning till what we do, till we go to bed. In your kitchen room, in your cleaning place, in your workshop, in your computer, in your interaction with people, you're taking care of your children, taking care of your parents or your relatives, any action, all modes of work and all modes of our struggle. We are every day confronted with struggles of different level, no? Physical struggle, physically someone is sick and weak, struggling in that level. More mentally and emotionally we are buffeted, so there is a struggle. This struggle is a part of that karma, that infinite karma, that which will release us from bondage. How can that be? This is a uniqueness of Swami Vivekananda. He gave this idea that all modes of work, all modes of struggle, all modes of creation, which are all paths of realization. And what is Vivekananda brought? No distinction henceforth between sacred and secular. This is something new. And this part is to be understood. That Vivekananda came to this, as he said, as Buddha has a message for the East, I have a message for the West, not only for the West, for the whole world. This is a new philosophy to be understood. Work is not different from worship. Doing anything in this world, every struggle we face, every challenges we are going through, and everything which confronts our growth of life, it is all service to God. There is only one reality, because one and many are the same, one and the same. To labor is to pray. What a new perspective of life. To labor is to pray, to conquer. How? To conquer is to renounce. Life itself is religion. To have and to hold is just turn a trust as to quit and to avoid. This is the ideal of karma, yoga, what Swami Vivekananda has presented in the eyes of Nivedita. And her vision is perfectly in tune with the realization and the philosophy followed by all the Brahmananda, Shivananda, and they are in their life. We will find that they are supporting this same idea. So it is life, its labor is to pray. So every day's labor, what we are doing, it is a prayer not in the temple, but in our field of activity. Can we think that way? Then what is not spiritual? There is nothing non-spiritual. That's why to conquer is to renounce. We want to conquer by subduing something. Not subduing anything, but to renounce, detach. That is, you can conquer everything by detachment. The world cannot touch us if we are really conquered that way, the detachment. Life itself, every breath, life itself is religion. And what is, we should have the capacity to hold as a stern, as a trust. I can hold something and release something. That means get attached to something, detach. That is the ideal. Who can do that? Unless one sees Brahman, unless one sees God there, the divine there. So it is here it says this pattern. It is Swami Vivekananda, while proclaiming the sovereignty of Advaita philosophy, also added to Hinduism this doctrine that all these different denominations in spiritual journey, dualism, dualist, Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, qualified non-dualism, and Advaita, are but the three phases of the stages in a single development. We are all progressing to the same development, and different three stages we are going through it. This is a part and parcel of the still greater and more simple doctrine that the many and one are the same reality, perceived by the mankind at different times and in different attitudes. And that, Nivedita says, this is, and it is this which adds its crowning glory to our Master's life, Swami Vivekananda's life. For here he becomes the meeting point not only of the East and West, but also of the past and future. Really, totally, in Vedic literature, if we go to read, you have to perform rituals and sacrificial fire and chant this mantra, chant that mantra. That is only spirituality is restricted there. But here is a new addition, that every moment, every action leading us to the same destination of infinite knowledge, Advaita, the absolute. Whether we are in present level, that is the crowning glory of Vivekananda, that for here he becomes the meeting point. Here he bridges this, the whole old concept with a new concept, and ending into the result of attaining to that same conclusion as one can attain by meditation and prayer. So this is really, this monastery, when at the beginning with this ideology, when Swami Vivekananda encouraged his disciples to go and serve the poor people in the Himalayas, the helpless people who have nobody to look after, taking care of them, cleaning them, making diet for them, cooking diet for them, serving them. And the monastic tradition, old past monastic tradition, revolted and said, what type of this job? They are monks. They are sweepers. So it's sweeping, the job of a cleaning person's job. And monks should read Brahma Sutra. Monks should always steeped in the Vedantic analysis of all the philosophies and this. What they are doing? From morning, taking a homeopathic medicine box with all these dietary requirements to cook, and goes to a patient, nobody to look after in the street or in the side of going from Haridwar to Rishikesh to Uttarkasi, like that. And people are dying there, no hospital, no care, and going and serving them. And that was with this philosophy. And that was recognized later on by Dhanrajgiri, a great spiritual giant of the Himalayan region that time. He understood that these people, they are applying that Vedanta philosophy into action. God is there only when we close our eyes, and God goes away when we open our eyes. That was the message, that God should be with eyes open. How you can see God with eyes open and make a practical dedication to that God who resides in everyone's heart. To him, therefore, this is the realization, Nivedita continues, which makes Vivekananda the great preacher of karma, not as divorced from, but as expressing jnana and bhakti. It is not, you are not to give up your bhakti or not to give up your knowledge of the non-dual reality, but it is this speciality. It is given to emphasis on preacher of karma. Vivekananda preached karma. As we see the Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavad-Gita, what it does? It always talks about work, fight in the life's duty. Go on, never get depressed, move on. But what the purpose? Doing this, you will be liberated from bondage. So this is Vivekananda's that ideal that our work should not be divorced from bhakti or from knowledge, but it is associated with it, and it will lead us to that ultimate truth. To him, the workshop, the study, the farmyard, and the field are as true and fit scenes for meeting of God with man as the cell of a monk or the door of the temple. What a beautiful idea. Vivekananda's idea, Karma Yoga ideal, this is the ideal. To that person, you are working in the workshop with tools and machineries, and you are studying some text, secular, spiritual, whatever. The farmyard, in the tilting the ground, producing the vegetables or grains, and in the field, they are as fit scenes. Very important point. These are the fit area. As temple is the fit area for meditation, so the cooking place may be a fit area for spiritualizing everything. To working in the workshop, that will be the same as meditating in the temple or praying or chanting. It will be no distinction between these two ideas and approach of life. What a new direction, what a new powerful thought process has been given to us, that it must be made same. They are as true and fit scenes for meeting of God with man as the cell of a monk or a door of the temple. So this is that how can we bring God into our every action, into all our love, all our hatred, all our relationship. It is interacting with God. There is only one. There is nothing two. We see this too because of our ignorance, but philosophically we will have to transcend this misconception. We will have to go beyond our misunderstanding, and that we call purification of the chitta, mind. But purification of the mind does not happen only by praying. And how, come to the realistic point, how many hours we can spend for praying? We have to earn money, you have to cook your meal, you will have to go to your job, you have to sit on your computer to earn something. So where is the time for 24 hours sitting and doing? Only the monks who have left everything and in the caves, they can do that. But we cannot live in that way. So therefore, this attitude is to be changed. It is the service to God. There is nothing but God in the universe. I don't see it. It is my foolishness, my ignorance, and this misconception because the mind is clouded, as I say always. So chitta shuddhi, purification of the mind. Purification of the mind can be adapting this idea and applying in every moment, in all phases of our life situation, whether in meditation, whether in prayer, whether in action. And in action, in all types of action. Here, important point, not good action, bad action. Through all action, we are serving God. There is no good and bad if we keep our mind in this Advaitic understanding. There is only divine. Good and bad is only in the mind. Good and bad is in the gunas, the 5 gunas which we are, 3 gunas which we are confounded because of our ignorance. To him, this person, there is no difference between service of man and worship of God, between manliness and faith, between true righteousness and spirituality. Art, science, religion, he said once, are but 3 ways of expressing a single truth. So this is also another thing. All through our art, science, and all the creative aspect of human nature, they are trying to express that Brahman, that infinite which is within, potential within all of us. In order to understand this, we must have the theory of the Advaita. Therefore, this Advaita is the foundation of Swami Vivekananda's all actions. So, Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga, this Karma ideal, is grounded on Vedanta, on the non-dual absolute reality which the ages together, the saintly people, the holy people, the spiritual people are probing only through meditation and prayer or deep analysis of the self that can be brought into our life. Swami Vivekananda is speaking in the hints on practical spirituality, which his talk was given in this Los Angeles. He said, "We should look upon each other in the most charitable light. It is not easy to be good. You are good because you cannot help it. Another is bad because he cannot help it. If you were in his position, who knows what you would have been." He's talking about that looking on each other, the most charitable light, even in the practical life, meaning to see God in others, to see God and His manifestation through different media. Their clouded mind, clear mind will express the same reality differently. So to interact with people, we always go in this way, this man is bad, this is good. Swami Premeshananda Maharaj used to use this language, that don't blame anyone. No one is bad, all is God. Only what is the wrong in that? Is the mind, the three gunas, they are creating trouble in between. Pure Atman is here, in between is three gunas, and three gunas are playing with the gunas. Guna guneshu vartante. My qualities, good quality, bad quality, sattvika quality, rajas quality, tamas quality, mine, versus your tamas quality, rajas quality, sattva quality, fighting with each other. Here is the same light, there is the same light. So think, don't blame anyone. Everyone is divine, only covered in the way how much is the sattva quality manifested, pure quality manifested. That is called love. We call our adoration the stainless nature. And how much tamasa, meanness, unkindness, these are not in us. These are in the covering. The glass is tainted. So the glass to remove. I am the same. And that sameness is everywhere. So that is the foundation of Vivekananda's philosophy of work, and that's the way to look upon each other. You see, this Vedanta is so practical. If we can do a little practice of this, then our society, our personal life will be full of joy and bliss. We cannot see that. We see he is a bad guy. There is no bad guy. The gunas are bad. And I also feel good, no? If I misbehave some way, and someone says, "Hey, your gunas are bad," then I feel good. And or versus someone says, "You are bad." Somebody says, "You are bad," I feel so bad, no? I am bad, no, I am not that, I support myself, no? But if you tell me, "Yeah, your now tamaguna is now working here." Oh, my gunas, okay, that's okay. So they blame the gunas, not the person. So this is Vedantic perspective. To live in the life, we will have differences. But all differences are in the gunas, and this expression we call in the level of the maya, in the expression of the ignorance. It is ignorance, and ignorance has three aspects. They have to clarify it. They have used the word three gunas. You are good, and it says, no one to be praised and blamed, because someone's innate nature is good. So he is bound to be good. He cannot be made bad, because his gunas have been all sattvika. And someone is in the level of tamas, he is helpless there. The gunas will force him to behave in the way tamas quality works. So, and that's why someone is good, because his innate nature means these three gunas have purified, and that's why he is good. So a good person cannot be bad. If how much you put him into corner, he will be truthful, he will be honest, he will give up his all earthly position for truth and this and that, like Ramakrishna's father. So examples are there plenty in the world. And by nature, there is no need but to be rough, to be bad. Don't blame. It is the nature, it is the gunas are playing over there. So that, but behind is the... And here Swami Vivekananda gives a very great statement. The woman in the street or the thief in the jail is the Christ that is being sacrificed, that you may be a good person. Such is the law of balance. See, you look down upon somebody. She is bad, but she is protecting the society. Swami Vivekananda's unique idea of looking after another person. What a lofty idea. We have never heard this type of statement. That woman in the street or the thief in the jail is the Christ himself that is being sacrificed, that you may be a good person. Such is the law of balance. That means to make ourselves great. Some people are sacrificing themselves in the negative way. So it is because, but there is the truth behind, is the same reality. Swami Vivekananda continues, all the thieves and the murderers, all the unjust, the weakest, the wickedest, the devils, they are all my Christ. That is my doctrine. I cannot help it. So Swami Vivekananda says, this is my doctrine. I cannot help it, to see this way. And there are other people who cannot help to see evil everywhere. It's a revolutionary statement, what Vivekananda says here. You know, Swamiji was walking in one time with MacLeod and others, and they went into a place where these ill-famed ladies were there, and they're calling Swami Vivekananda, and everyone was really totally unaware of the situation, so they were embarrassed. But Swami Vivekananda went in front of those ladies, and then with the tearful eyes, he started crying. And remarked, they do not know, they are all divine. For the need of some physical money or something, comfort, they have put themselves down to this state. He felt compassion for God in that human personality. What we call prostitutes. They are saving the society. They are sacrificing their life. This attitude of respect, attitude of this type of feeling in life, that is karma. We face challenges, we see these challenges every time in our life. But how we look upon others, and how is the look of an Advaita student, if one can take this Karma Yoga idea of Swami Vivekananda. It is saying you will cry for the suffering of others who are going in this state of condition of their life. And they say, really, they are all my Christ. What a word. He looks upon each one, the veritable Christ, as Christ came in pure form. And this is the Christ in this form, where the weak person, the wickedest, the unjust, the murderers, the thieves, they are my Christ. So this is only based on oneness as the foundation of Vivekananda's Karma Yoga theory. My salutation goes to the feet of the good, the saintly, and to the feet of the wicked and the devilish. So he is offering pranam, salutation, to the all those are great and all those who live not that saintly life. This is impossible unless that oneness, the philosophy of oneness, interpenetrates into the personality of a person. This is to be practiced, and as I see more of the world, see more of men and women, this conviction grows stronger. Whom shall I blame? Whom shall I praise? Both sides of the shield must be seen. It is God Himself playing in so many roles. That is the Karma Yoga ideal. That is the ideal that upon the weak person, sinner, we call sinner. That sinner is God, has degraded into that level by only their emotion and intellect being clouded and dark. They need more help. Not criticism only. Everyone can criticize the other person. But who can make a person worthwhile, make better, to lift them from that state into the higher level of state. So this is the Vivekananda's work. That's why he said, may I be born again and again and suffer thousands of miseries so that I may worship the only God that exists. The only God I believe in, the sum total of all souls. And above all, my God the wicked, my God the miserable, my God the poor, of all races, of all species, is the special object of my worship. So this is the Swami Vivekananda's karma theory. Theory is this, Vivekananda saying like Buddha, saying that may I be born again and again. He has no need to be born. He is a realized soul. He sees Brahman everywhere. But he says, may I be born again. One desire, I will be born again and again and again. For what purpose? Purpose is that, and suffer. Birth gives us suffering. Look at Christ, how much he suffered. Look at Buddha, how much he suffered. And look at all the great souls for the humanity, for removing their doubts, confusions, and also physical suffering. He took away, we call miracle, taking away their sins. And he said, I may suffer thousands of miseries. Why? So that I may worship the only God that exists. There is only God that exists. You know, Swamiji's words are so strong, we cannot read fast. If you read this, I have read before, when he says, I may worship only God that exists. It does not carry any sense. But meditate in every word. He says, I may be born again and again. That is the desire. And what shall I do after being born, taking a human birth? I will suffer. I may worship only God that exists. There is nothing but God. Brahmaiva idam. Only Brahman is the only reality. Atman is the only reality. And I know that is the only God that exists. The only God I believe in. There is not 20 gods. There is not 1,000 gods. All the different ideas which you find in the Hindu idea and Buddhistic gods and goddesses idea, one God represented in different ways only. But that is the only God who is being in human being, in subhuman, in saintly, and in the sinners. Everywhere that. And I believe in that. And that is the sum total. Who is that? Which is that God for me? Sum total of all souls. Your service goes not to human being, to the animals, to the pets, to the plants, to the trees, to the nature, everywhere. It is all surrounded by one reality, and that is called God, Vivekananda's God. Sum total of all souls. Here there is no one is rejected, no one is out of consideration. And above all, my God, special manifestation of God is where? My God the wicked, my God the miserable, my God the poor of all races, not of this country or that country, but it is my God in the form of the poor in all races who needs, so-called needs some help from us. Of all species is the special object of my worship. So Sri Ramakrishna brought this Vivekananda to give this idea what he himself experienced. And his idea was that, what he said? Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. Serving Shiva in Jiva. Jiva means individual souls. Not looking at the individual soul separate from God, but serving the individual soul. By that service, the service is really going to God who is seated in the heart of all. So all services should be given to serve with a glass of water. When we give a glass of water, if I could think once in my life at least, I am giving it to God. Here is Christ in this form. I am serving Him. My God, what will be the spiritual development? That is the Karma Yoga ideal. And Swami Vivekananda says that this karma is, no one can stay without karma. And that karma should be done. But people do karma with varied motives, as we do. There cannot be work without motive. Swami Vivekananda says, some want fame, some want money, power, some wants to go to heaven, wants to leave a name while they die. My big name will be there. So my plaque should be written like that. This I did such great work. My name should be remembered by others. And penance, all to enjoy for the future. There are some other. First category is some want this material thing. Name, fame, power, position, their own future, people will remember them. Second category, some salt of the earth, they work for work's sake. I do. Work is necessary, I did it. Hands off. This is the second category, higher category. Just because good will come out of it. I do because I am doing something with all my sincerity, something good will come. And someone will get the benefit. I have no connection with it. Second category. Some with still higher motive in doing good and love to do good. Total unselfishness. That means serving myself. By serving you, I serve myself. That is the highest ideal. All outgoing energies following selfish motive is frittered away, will not cause power to return to you, this Swami Vivekananda says. But if you restrain by unselfish motive, it will result in development of power. He is giving some rationality. Forget about highest philosophy of seeing Brahman everywhere. Next point is that we do expect something and do work. Our selfish motivation, that is the energy which we have gets frittered away and never to come back to us. But if it is restrained by unselfishness, it will result in the development of power, will tend to produce a mighty will that will build a character which makes a Christ, a Buddha. A Christ will come out, a Buddha will come out, not by selfishness, but by selflessness, or seeing the self everywhere. No expectation. I do It is done because I am serving God. It is serving me. By serving you, I am serving me. This spiritual attitude. Swami Vivekananda says that the mighty will, if we can do this unselfish type of activity, not anything in return, then that will create a gigantic power in us. And that gigantic power is called the character. And what is that character? A Buddha character will come out. A Christ character will come out. A saint will be born out of us, because that will be the source of energy to give peace to the whole world. Even the lowest form of work are not to be despised. Let the man who knows no better work for selfish end. But we are to all different people in different levels. That's why Swamiji gives a great ideal. Each may not be looking at the Brahman everywhere, God everywhere, serving God. It's too high. But one can start. Let the man who knows no better work for selfish ends. Okay, I do it for my selfish motive. Name, fame, etc. But everyone should always try to go towards higher and higher motives, to understand them. That it will lead to the next level, ultimately serving God everywhere. To work we have right, but not the fruits thereof. So, karma is doing some work, can be divided into auspicious and inauspicious. It can be done with desire and can be done without desire. And karma, when we do, it accumulates our impressions in the mind. And karma can be divided into three categories. What I am now is the impetus, or the behind is my bad karmas, good karmas, or combined. This present life going on, this is called the prarabdha. And the other karma is that which is already accumulated in the past. I'll have to work on that. And what I am doing now is creating my next sanchita, kriyaman and prarabdha. These are the three types of karma. So our purpose is to get out of the karma. By doing karma, getting out of the karma. Goal of life, that is called God realization, feeling one with Brahman, and understanding that joy, bliss and consciousness is our very basic unity there. So, but we have to start karma and go through the karma. No one can do just sitting in silent meditation can realize God. So karma is to be done, but Bhagavad-Gita, in the Gita also says so many ways, doing karma till you die. Isha Upanishad says if you live 100 years, engage yourself in karma, but that karma should be this way to be done. Vivekananda tried to, in this modern age, everything is shortcut, with quick, no? Previously we used to type one letter in the, type machine, and type, and run, and push that line, and then comes again, and then one mistake, then you have to retype again and do this. But computer now, you just do something, you need not have to do a mistake, and this is the correct word. Okay, you click that, you get the correction. So this is the age of concession, and that's why Vivekananda brought this concession idea. Why to go through so many methodology? Why not see God everywhere? Why not see that the same Satchidananda is there and serve God here? Serve as you feel serving others, you are serving yourself. What a great idea, and get freedom from it. Thank you all.
Whatever beauty there may be that my eyes do see, may your beauty ever be inside this heart. Whatever work my hands can share, with best effort and with care, may I always find you here
all in February, all events in person and center. For in-person event, masks are mandatory. But who is speaking next? First will be the 6th of Sunday, next Sunday, Wisdom of Love, Prabrajika, Brajaprana. That's next Sunday, 11 o'clock. And of course, second is the Brahmananda Puja, and that is online as also in person. And of course, the mask is mandatory. And second also, the class in the 5 p.m. class, that is cancelled. So, second is Wednesday Brahmananda Puja here, and Home of Fire Brahmananda Puja. And sixth will be the talk by Brajaprana on wisdom of love. And today we'll be here for some time after this to have question answer, and I'll end with this chant. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Devi. Now is the time for question. Yeah, you can. Acha, let them settle down. Sit here, corner. Oh, you're using the microphone for QA or what? Oh, acha, acha. That's good. Please come. Sit. Question about?
About suffering.
Suffering.
Yes. I'm aware, speaking of...
Acha. Give it to her. This way go. Give it to him.
Hello. So my question is about suffering and being born into this human body. I have witnessed a suffering that is outside of my control, something that was acted upon to me. And so I can smile with that, knowing that's an act of God, and appreciate that as an opportunity for my growth. My question to you is there a teaching of suffering that I can avoid, suffering that is from, let's say, a coworker or a boss, that I can leave and go somewhere where there's less suffering?
Yes, suffering in life is inevitable. But if we look at life that in a practical life, look at that. All the great people whom we adore, Buddha, Krishna, Rama, Christ, they all suffered. This body, in the physical level, when it is connected with mind, body-mind complex, this has its suffering, 3 types of suffering. Some suffering I create myself, and I get the consequences of that. Some suffering I apparently did nothing, but someone, as you say, some co-worker, maybe some boss, makes too much trouble comes in our life. And some natural calamity, disaster, that may. These 3 types of suffering. That's why we say peace, peace, peace. 3 times. So that in 3 levels there comes some harmony and joy. So the suffering is a part of life. We have to find out in the practical level how to overcome them. In 3 levels also, physical level, mental level and spiritual level. Physical level, take the physical method. Talk to the co-worker, meet with them, make it convinced that you are wrong, you are unnecessarily troubling me. This is not proper, it should not be done like that. You are unnecessarily creating so much to me. Like that. I do not know what will be the practical way. Someone is troubling, call police if it is too much troublemaking. Get the help of the people properly. This is the physical level. Mental level, we'll have to understand, okay, people will be like that. As I said, people work with different motive, selfish motive. the whole world in a lower level, they don't understand self is the big self. We understand this body-mind is the self. For my bodily comfort, for my physical enjoyment, I can do wrong things, right things, no? So, this physical level and then mental level, we have to understand this is the nature of creation. Look at anywhere you look, if the animals, some animals are so, among them, the same species, someone is docile, someone is sweet, someone is aggressive, someone is fighting. Even the three children in the same family, look at that. One is aggressive, one is enduring, one is loving, feeling for others. Anything he or she gets, she gives to the brother or sister. So these are the things of life. We will have to mentally, to keep the mental peace, we will have to understand that level, we will have to go through it. But how I can escape mentally, not get depressed, not get much affected, let me find what is the way I can find out. And spiritual solution is this. As I said, the whole lecture was on that basis. This is happening in the level of the qualities of life, no? Sattvika quality, rajaso, tamaso. Or it is happening in the physical plane, but in spirit we are all one. These are all different robotic structures. And each robot has been given to function one way, then other way. As Swami Vivekananda said, you cannot be bad or you cannot be good. Your inherent nature forces you. Our inherent nature forces us to go forward. So inherent nature, but we have to change. If I know this is bad, I will change myself. But people are many times they know, but cannot get out. Duryodhana said, Janami dharmam, what is good, what is beneficial. Nami nachame pravitti, I have no inclination to follow that path. Janami adharmam, I know it is bad, it is unethical, it is not good for myself or anybody, but I have no control over that. So, oh Lord, then you are sitting in my heart, please guide me, so surrender to God. So, these are the three levels. Suffering, entire Buddha's message is to go beyond suffering. Dukkha, dukkha, dukkha. Everything is dukkha. And dukkha also is bad, but also it is good. It opens up our vision. It brings a realistic picture of life. When we are not facing the challenges of this type of suffering, people take it for granted. Life is all fun, joy and sing and dance and pass the day. When suffering comes, then we sometimes look back and why it is to me, why it is happening, oh Lord, you are there, why, please help me. So there a turning point comes in life. Not that everyone needs suffering, I am not saying that people should suffer, but it is, we are in the middle of suffering, we cannot help, we have to get out of it. So I think accepting these philosophies, these ideas, we will have to work in the three levels, physical level, mental level, emotional level and intellectual level or spiritual level. Because I am spiritual, okay, everything is God, someone is mistreating me, okay, God is doing that. Are you in that state? If you are in that state, you know that God is doing everything, then yes, you are correct. But you are a helpless guy and you are saying God is looking after. No, take help in the physical level, mental level and also spiritual level. All the levels we should have to seek the blessings and grace of whatever is available.
So it's, a lot of the times I try to apply the, God in everything, no matter what's happening. And I think we have a lot of opportunity right now to kind of do that with just the situation in the world in general. There's a lot of conflict and that kind of thing. And I think for spiritual seekers or for a lot of people, it's really difficult when you are watching kind of unfold people who, even high respected people in government, whatever, just lying or standing by and allowing lying to good people who are believing them, creating a horrible rift between people and hatred that sparks hatred for one group against another. And basically in watching what could turn out to be like another Holocaust brought on by propaganda, which is going on rampantly. And it's on a day-to-day basis just being faced with that. And we can discriminate so much. Okay, ultimately it's God's play and and it's not going to be here forever. But on a day-to-day practical level, we're going out into the world. We're wanting to bring service and help to other people, and we're all feeling kind of discombobulated with all the gaslighting and the lying and the game playing that's very immature, and yet we're trying to abide by the like do unto others and just try and be better ourselves as people and be follow some kind of good guidelines. What would be the best way to react with all of that going on? This, normally we have this ups and downs, but this is a little much, just bombardment all the time. What would be a good way to? What's a good attitude? I mean, ultimately it doesn't exist. It's not a big deal. But until then,
so long it is there, we'll have to accept the suffering. We'll have to accept this type of people are there. But what to do is a very difficult thing. As I said just now, it should be dealt in 3 levels. Physical level. People are doing mass petition, mass resentment. Whatever the steps realistically possible, that we'll have to go for that, those who are involved. But many people may not be equipped to do that. But there will be some people, good people should have to stand up and they may be victims also, victims of suffering also more. But that is the physical level. And as I said, other level you will have to, for your own peace you have to survive. If I see so much going on and I really become so much troubled day and night, I lose my sleep, I lose my own personal peace. So will that help in solving the problem? Or it is not. So how can I just give up? Oh Lord, it's not my power. So just create something, some type of, because mental peace is very important, our sleep is very necessary, our survival is very necessary. These are what we are talking about, Vivekananda's idea, that is for a society when it is a good society. When too much evil comes in the society, it is not congenial. It can be doable. People are trying to do that, but it is not doable because of our incapability, as also the trouble is so much. So we'll have to know how much my limit, how much I can go, and let go. I have nothing to do. I'll have to live with it. The King Herod was there, and what he did, everyone had to endure with that. If you look at anywhere, in Indian history if you go, how many invasions and things went. You have to do with it. What can you do? You have no power to fight against that big powers. So, and people suffer. It's still till today is the same situation. So where we cannot do anything, then for my peace, what step I should take? You have to, each individual will have to think in their own strength, depending on own strength. And ultimately we'll have to say, as you said, this is the changeful world, it may change. But what can I do now? There's a question of how can I not be affected by it, and what can I do it? So it's a deep social people who are in the society, they are deep thinkers are there, they can find out some solution. But for good cause, there are some people who wants to do something really good for the society. But it is to be accumulated. The revolution comes, you can say by God's grace comes. No. Protest comes, little, mild, severe, whole. So, Vedantic perspective will take the practical measure as also spiritual measure. Inner peace of the mind and ultimate peace. But we must not have to lose our inner peace for just doing something which I am incapable to go for correcting. So I think that is the way we'll have to think somewhere. Send it to somebody. Send that microphone, hand over to that, they will give it. Yeah. Take it, you stay.
Pranam Swamiji, I have two questions. First one is, I was born in Calcutta, and then from there I moved to Pune to study, and from there to New York, and in between I travel in England, and then from there back to New York, and from there to Washington DC, San Francisco, and now Santa Cruz, and now I'm here. This all for my various work-related journey. But one thing I observed ever since I was a little boy in Calcutta, I always watch myself that way, that there was something deep inside, and everything else surrounding in the world, bodily, physically, mentally, everything else is changing. But that deep inside there is something which is very profound, if I could say, and that remains constant. The reason I'm saying this, would you say that thing which have not changed, which is eternal, could be considered Atman?
But how do you feel? It is only intellectual feeling, or you feel that there is something unchanging? That depends on your experience, how much you understand about that unchanging. If that is true, that if you always feel there is an unchanging reality inside, it's a great sign, good sign, very developed sign, developed mental state. Our mind creates doubt. When mind becomes really established in some, maybe previous life's experience or this life experience, when the mind becomes stable in one concept and it holds to that idea, then that becomes the predominant idea inside. So good sign if you have that feeling that there is that unchanging reality there. Good. That is our goal, to feel it, to experience it, and to apply it in everyday's life situation. No? If you feel that, then you will feel the same with others also. The same unchanging in me, the same unchanging in them also. So that should be simultaneously, it should develop. Not that in me only, but in others something else. No. The same unchanging reality permeates everywhere. It is here and it is everywhere.
My second question is, you mentioned today guna, sattvic, rajasic and tamasic. And according to the guna, world is acting, individual is acting. Is it possible, or would it be a fallacy, that every human can bring up that sattvic guna in a level?
Of course.
And then all could be in divinity place.
Yeah. So, yes, everyone can do. It depends on tremendous spiritual practice and to work well, to understand what is the three gunas. You have to understand the three gunas and its effect. What are the three gunas in the Bhagavad-Gita, 17th chapter? It has been elaborately discussed. There you know, first of you know, these are called the tamasa qualities, these are called the rajasa qualities, these are called the sattika quality. And now, where I fit in, I am the best judge to understand which level I am. And be careful about that and thinking to rise my consciousness into the higher level. This is this one type of process. Another type of process is that you think of God only. Because God is the most sattika and most pure. So if we think of God, that's why our regular practice comes. We go to Guru, we take the mantra, we repeat the mantra, we feel the presence of God. Meaning we are trying to rise above the three gunas. And realistically, many people do that. All the gunas from the Bhagavad-Gita, note down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the tamasa quality. These are the rajasa and these are sattika. When I am, not that a person is always tamas, or not that always a person is in sattika quality. We move from this to this always. So when I am in tamasa mood, so I must have to take some recourse so that I can overcome that. In the morning, when you get up in our spiritual life, this is cold, this is night, let me lie down a little bit more, and then it is okay, half an hour, till something is there, okay, another 10 minutes, another 2 minutes, it's tamas. Then if you want to really be up and doing, just jump out of your bed. Rajas. Jumping out is rajas. Lying down, tossing this way, that is tamas, no? Carrying on. And then you say, what shall I do? Take a shower. So that rajas active, tamas goes away, rajas take place. And with that rajas, then you come, read some passages to inspire you, by tending the mind towards sattva, higher level. And then you sit for meditation and prayer, whatever you do, as instruction of Guru. So we are turning from tamas to rajas to sattva. So every day in every action, if you are aware how we can be keeping our inner peace, inner tranquility, always situation will force you to be angry, to be upset at such situation. Whether you like or not, it comes. But sattva, I want to sattva, I want to peace of mind. No, I won't get disturbed. I know it is true, but I will check it. So this type of attempt can be made to rise. And best thought, as I say, think of God, which is the best suggestion to lift our consciousness from all this level to the pure level. He wanted to... Achha.
Swamiji, I have a question and then a comment. And the question, when you mentioned qualified non-dualism in the talk, what specifically is it qualified by?
Again?
So we have Dvaita, Vashishta Dvaita, and then Advaita. You were talking about these three levels of realization or practice. In qualified non-dualism, what is non-dualism qualified by?
What is qualified non-dualism?
What is the non-dualism qualified by?
Non-dualism, suppose there is a bonfire. Fire is all heat and light. So in every spark, when it comes, in spark also there is heat and light. That is the common thing. But it is huge, it is small. That is the distinction. Big and small. So, non-dualism is the Satchidananda everywhere. But in you, in me, so we are sparks of Satchidananda. if one can think like that. In
So
me,
it's referring to the interdependence of the parts, like the
yeah, as you,
lights in a chandelier kind of idea.
like they give the example also, a tree and its branches. It is in one say branch is nothing, everything is tree. But you can say branch. Branch is a part of the totality. The functionality of the branch and the totality of the tree is almost the same. It's turning sap into this and that, all this. So that is, they give the example of the bonfire and the spark. They give the example of the ocean and the ripple.
So someone who is practicing at that level or is at that level of realization or their own spiritual journey, they are not yet perceiving pure non-dual ultimate truth.
That's right.
They are more seeing within the relative experience.
I said, still they are not reaching that non-duality, but before that. The duality is that God is there, I am there. Totally separate. God is in the heaven and I am here. I am the servant and God is the Lord. Oh Lord, do this, do that, do that. And totally different. And like a king and his subjects. Subjects are all individual. Subject may be rich, poor, happy, unhappy, healthy, unhealthy. But king is king, king is sitting in his kingdom. Two separate identity. Qualified non-dualism is saying, no, it is not two. It is the same, only it is a quantitative manifestation. It is total, Advaita is non-dual. Advaita is everywhere, permeated in each spark. In each spark the heat and light is permeated. And that accumulated thing you are calling as the Atman, or it is the Brahman. And that will automatically lead it there. So Ramakrishna, he has added this thing, that you, whatever you are suited in this three levels of understanding, you start your spiritual journey from there. As the mind will be pure, automatically it will take you to the next flight, So ultimately there is nothing, no other place to go. But it takes time. To whoever is there, everyone will, Ramakrishna used to say, everyone will have his stomach filled. Some may be in the early morning, that means he is hungry and his food is coming, and someone will be late. But there is no late or there is nothing. We are all journey started different times. So we are in different stages of progress. So ultimately all will have to come to our oneness of that.
I also just wanted to say a comment to what Mary was saying. And what has helped me a lot is I keep remembering that the time spirit, that this is Kali Yuga, and it requires a lot more patience. I say that to myself a lot. And also, we used to say here in the convent that we have to attend to what shows up at our door and not go out looking for it.
Give him, he asked the question. No, him, yeah.
Him. He said him. My question is about doing, motivation for doing. So there were three of them. One was if you have the desire, you want to help people. So the desire, that would be, or you could be a senator that says he wants to help people, so that motivation comes from the desire to do good or to be recognized. And then the second one was equanimity, where you just do it because it needed to be done. Like you hear on the news somebody rescued somebody and you say, well, how did you do that? You're such a great person. I'm not a great person. Maybe it took courage, but had to be done like a old lady crossing the street. You just do it. That to me, when you said that, was the highest. Because anything to do it for something doesn't work. It's because you want something. And when you want something, it becomes maybe karma. But so that's my point. You took it to the third phase and you do it, because I'm doing it for God, or I'm going to be lifted up to a higher level, so therefore, and that was the third one, or maybe you could explain the third one better.
Yeah, when you do for God, there is no expectation.
It's still doing it.
No, you are because you are doing, because your mind is still there, you have to do something. You are sitting, you are doing something. Mentally you are thinking, that is a work. We cannot stop working so long we are an embodied being. But when you do for God, what do you expect? Yes, as I said, you can do work for getting some praise. Oh Lord, I am doing it, give me this. Now many people do that work, even praying to God. They are praying to God to have some name, fame, power, position, etc. But what you are saying,
Higher than equanimity?
the higher first stage is doing anything for selfishness. Your own selfishness, that's for my pleasure, my joy, my money, my wealth, my prosperity. That is the first stage. That people will start with that. And when after doing some time they will find it is not rewarding. It is not giving me the place I want to reach, that joy which will be abiding. It is not. Then they start doing for thinking that let me do, just for doing. I need not have to expect everything. Thing will come automatically. If you do good work, people will praise you. But why do you are beggar for that? You are begging, let me get something. Oh, I did it for you. You didn't give me thank. So that's the development is happening here. Mind is becoming purer and saying, I don't have to think in that way. I am doing because I love to do it. And it will bring good to others and it will bring good to me. Third stage will come when I am doing for nothing. I am not expecting anything. I am to please the Lord. You may say, pleasing Lord, why is it not a desire? Pleasing Lord is a desire, but this is too high a desire. That is close to God. And that desire, yes, but that then don't work. You don't work then. If you think that you are to even not to pray to God, your mind is in such a level, then you are beyond all this karma. You cannot do any karma because for whom will you do? And what is the purpose of karma? That's why they call jada samadhi. They go into that niskarma. In a technical term, in Vedanta they reach a state which is called naishkarma. No karma. His whole heart is saturated with God consciousness. He will drop this karma. Karma is not for him. He cannot do that. Because it is such an absorbing joy is inside. When they go close to that, I am doing for you. And you really feel that he is there and you are there. When you feel that connectedness comes. And that connectedness means you are becoming one with the divine. So you that time all action will drop. Swami Vivekananda, he inspired the whole world to do karma. And then when he had the vision, when he went to Kashmir, and he was with Nivedita and others, and that time he went to see a temple, and the temple was desecrated, and the temple was broken, and the deity was thrown away into the water. That is the normal work of some religious denomination, who does that in India, thousands and thousands and thousands. So he felt so bad. He said, why this has happened? There is no anyone to protect this temple, the mother's place, desecrated like this. And then he heard a divine voice, karma. No? He said, I would have done something. I would have given my life to protect the temple. No? That karma, still, good karma, for a higher cause. And he heard a voice, do you protect me or I protect you? If I wish, now there will be a 7-storied golden temple. Do I protect or you protect? This only one experience. Vivekananda, then onward, became like a child. He said that Vivekananda, the spirited Vivekananda, the lecturer Vivekananda, the social reformer Vivekananda, is dead and gone. Now I am like the child who is to sit at the feet of Ramakrishna and listen to in wonderment his message. And that means I am withdrawing. And that is the time he withdraw his all activity. Work drops. When really that experience will come, it is so overwhelming. Then you see, who am I doing? Who am I to do? It is all God. No necessity of my doing. The world will go on. It is, who am I to do anything? Vivekananda did not want to do anything from the beginning because he was in Samadhi. But Ramakrishna pulled him out. No, you will have to do mother's work. And gave that energy in him. And what he did it in this country or India, wherever, all these years he did. And that mother again giving the message, who are you? My dealing. That much was given to you to do, you finished, now your duty is done. And that's why Vivekananda withdrew from everything. So that is giving an example to understand this point, when one's mind will be really thinking that I am doing for God only, for no other purpose, but to be one with God, but to be in love with God, but to be tuned to God consciousness. Yes, that's a desire. But that desire is a higher desire, which is closely connecting us to God, the absolute oneness. And if you can, that is true. If one can reach that level, that desire should be given up. Ramakrishna said for such candidates, to even I shall realize God, Vivekananda says, I shall realize God before others. That's selfishness. Buddha's idea. I will be born again. Let everyone be Buddha. Till that Buddha state is attained, I will be coming again and again. Means that's my work. But that is after realization of God. That's why they can do real good. Otherwise, if anyone without realizing that start doing, then it will be a disaster. That's why you...
Swami, I was overwhelmed with your message today and from Swamiji, and I was especially taken by work as worship, that the ideal of that and how it is equal to our worship of in the temple or meditation, and how that our everyday life, every action we take in everything we do is worship in itself. And that's such a powerful message. Awesome. And you presented so many different points on that that I just want to... the question is, when Swami first went to the Himalayas to start giving service to the poor there, the monastics were appalled, and they thought, oh, what are you doing? You can't do it that way. You have to go through our way, if you are serious about reaching your ideal. And there, you mentioned there was great spiritual leader at the time that saw the good, and he saw it was backed by the Advaita tradition. And
he was Dhanraj Giriji, one great Swami.
What was his name again?
His name was Dhanraj Giri. Dhanraj, Giri. Giri is one of the 10 divisions of monastic tradition. We are Puri. Last surname. Surname is Puri, Giri, Bon, Nadi, Parvat, like that. These are the subtitles which proves that they belong to the Shankara's established traditions. So he was Dhanraj Giriji, he was a very highly illumined soul, and he recognized, he met Vivekananda, and also he met afterwards Swami Turiyananda. Turiyananda went there, and then he saw these Vivekananda's disciples, Kalyanananda, Nishchayananda, these are the names of the Swamis, Vivekananda's disciple. So when they were performing, the others could not recognize them, and they used to tease them. That's what type of monk they see. They are day and night engaged in cleaning the soil cloth of people, and they preparing meal and this and that. They should study Vedanta. And then that eye was open, eye-opening expression of Dhanraj Giriji. There is a story that happened, that there is one feast. Sadhus occasionally have good feast. So some rich people go to the Himalayas. They don't get food. Sadhus don't get much food. Occasionally some rich people go and they give some money. So all the sadhus are invited. They will have a sumptuous meal, feast one day. So that was the way it was going on. And when Dhanraj Giriji, being the president of the monastic council, the two Swamis, some Vivekananda's disciple Swami, Nishchayananda and Kalyanananda, in the congregation, don't find anywhere. Then he said, where are those two Swamis of the Ramakrishna order? Then he said, oh, they are Bhangi sadhus. That means they are sweeper Swamis. The unclean things they clean, that is their job. They said, what? They are so? If they are not invited, I am going away. Because they intentionally avoided them. They think that they are not monks at all. They should not be considered to be a monk. And then, he being the president of the monastic council there, when he was getting out, then everyone said, please, please, sit down. And then they all ran to find that two Swamis, where they are found. They will be found in a Sikh home, one Sikh monk in a cave or in the roadside needs some help, so they are cleaning and cooking. And they went and caught both of them. And the entire feast was stopped until they came, and he called them to sit on the right side and left side. And the whole community of monastic community then recognized, my God, what? Well, they are the greatest spiritual personality. They are practically, they are established in the knowledge of the non-dual, at the same time serving this. So that is the recognition of the Ramakrishna monk. Now you go to Kankhal, all the sadhus know Ramakrishna mission, because our 600 bed hospital is there. So all the sadhus come, they get free treatment, and all they are so recognized now because of that. But anyway, okay.
Gandhi did the same with his work too, didn't he? Gandhi practiced that same philosophy.
Ahimsa.
Yeah.
Swamiji, you said Jala Samadhi.
Jada Samadhi.
Yeah. Okay.
Jada Samadhi means you become like inert. The soul steeped into that body consciousness goes death, as like a dead body. Body becomes like a dead. Ramakrishna.
Okay.
If it continues for a long time, it will be Jada. Jada means inert.
So there was a Swami I heard, Tairanga Mahaswami, somebody from center part of India.
Not center part, he is in Benares.
Benares, yeah. Was he used to float in the water?
Yeah, those are nothing. The yogis can do whatever they like. Okay, shall we end here? Jai. Thank you all. Jai Ma, Jai Ma. Yeah, for them, if you know God, then if you want to use your power, Christ. Lazarus, come out. And the dead body, he got the life. It's a tremendous energy. They're only to channelize that, touch it, do it. Ramakrishna said, look at somebody. He's having his, so many miraculous stories are there, but we don't talk about that. He cured so many people and so many was in difficulty. But emphasis is spirituality, how we can lift the mind into God consciousness. Thank you all.